Attention, ladies and gentlemen. We will commence the Maharashtra session in a very short while from now. You are requested to kindly be seated and please turn your cell phones to the silent so as to avoid disturbances during the proceedings. I repeat, all those yet standing requested to please take your seats, and I hope you have turned your cell phones to the silent, and we all know the reason why. Thank you for your cooperation. Could I request Dr. Manik Gursal, CEO MMB, to also take his seat on the dais, please? We have with us the Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra, Shri Sanjay Bansode, Shri Rajiv Jalota, Chairman Mumbai Port Authority, Shri Parag Jain Nenutia, Principal Secretary, Transport and Port, Government of Maharashtra, Srimati Jayashree Bhuj, Secretary, Tourism and Cultural Affairs Department, Government of Maharashtra. Could I request Mr. D.N. Patil, Director of Tourism, to please join us on stage. So very good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India, it gives me, Manasi, great pleasure in extending a hearty welcome to all of you for this special session with Maharashtra with the theme, Navigating Maharashtra's Growth Trajectory with reference to ports, transportation, industries, and tourism. The topics for the session today are understanding current challenges in Maharashtra's ports, transportation, and industrial sectors, including infrastructure bottlenecks, enhancing connectivity, improvement in transportation connectivity within Maharashtra and other regions, industry resilience, identifying the ways to enhance the resilience of Maharashtra's industries, tourism promotion policy framework with respect to initiation of policies required to create an enabling environment for growth, including regulatory reforms and incentives, attracting investments with reference to exploring strategies to attract domestic and foreign investments in port sector, along with exploration of promoting the collaboration among government, industry, and communities for the same. So the session chair today is Shri Sanjay Bansode, Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra. Welcome to you, sir. The convener is Shri Rajiv Jalota, Chairman, Mumbai Port Authority. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Co-convener Shri Parag Jain Nenutia, Principal Secretary, Transport and Port, Government of Maharashtra. Welcome, sir. And then we have Srimati Jayashree Bhuj, Secretary, Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Department, Government of Maharashtra. Welcome to you, ma'am. And a warm welcome to Dr. Manik Gursal, CEO, MMB, and Mr. D.N. Patil, Director of Tourism. So with those words, I call upon our co-convener, Mr. Parag Jain Nenutia, Principal Secretary, Transport and Port, Government of Maharashtra, for the opening address.
Hello. Namaskar and very good afternoon to everybody present here. As India is transforming into a global powerhouse, I think India maritime sector would be the main force behind this, making India a 5 trillion economy. Maharashtra has always been a force in development of commerce, trade, and economic growth of the country. Maharashtra has 720 kilometers of coastlines across 5 districts. We have 2 major, which is JNPA and MBPA. Mumbai Port Authority and JN Port Authority has 2 major ports in the state of Maharashtra. And along the coastline, we have about 48 minor ports. And these are called non-major ports as per the new definition. मेरे को नीरज ने बताया था ये. Neeraj enlightened me with this difference of major and minor ports. Now, definition is major and non-major ports. So these non-major ports, we are handling about 71 million tons of cargo every year. And we are handling about 19 million passengers every year. These figures are of the last financial years. We have 34 existing water transport in the state of Maharashtra, and we are upcoming around 19 new water transport. I am very happy to share the news that Maharashtra very recently has come up with the Maharashtra Maritime Development Policy 2023, which we have announced very recently. And the focus of this policy is that we should have maximum number of investment in the state of Maharashtra. So our target of Maharashtra is contributing 1 trillion in the 5 trillion Indian economy. So I think this Maritime Development Policy 23 would be a milestone in achieving the target of 1 trillion for Maharashtra. The focus is on infrastructure development. Many incentives, I would urge everybody who is serious in this maritime sector, because I cannot go into the details of each and every aspect of this policy. So my humble request to everybody present that please go through this document which we have. It's a very investment friendly, I would say. And if I can put it very crudely, the red tapeism is not a part of this policy. So many incentives are given for the greenfield ports, and there was a problem with the expansion issue in the state of Maharashtra. So we have given a solution for the expansion of existing infrastructure, which includes ports, jetties, captive jetties, etc. in the policy itself. So I think it will be a smooth ride for those who are existing infrastructure and wanting expansion. Again, I think, again, a milestone for in this policy is that we have reduced waterfront royalty from 20 rupees to 60 paisa. Every year, which was rising at 20 rupees, we have brought it down to 60 paisa a year. I think this is a very major step in the direction of attracting investment in the state of Maharashtra. Again, a milestone for this policy, there has been to and fro as far as road and rail infrastructure for the port connectivity is concerned. Now, state government has taken upon itself to develop rail and road transport. Neeraj ji bata sakta hai tu, aur yahan pe major and minor ports, I think it's a very big step which state government has taken as far as this new maritime policy is concerned. So government would be in fact not helping. Government would be developing road and rail infrastructure for connectivity of the ports. Again, the focus is coastal tourism, in which we have given concession on the port charges. We have also given huge concession of 75% for the passenger tickets, which is a huge concession, I would say. Focus is again like our Honorable Prime Minister, our CM, has focused that there should be focus on the shipbuilding and repair. So we have identified this sector also. Previously, till before 2023, there was no policy for leasing for shipbuilding and repair. But in this new policy, we have made a provision of 30-year leasing extendable by another 20 years. I think this is again a major step in the direction of achieving this shipbuilding and repair. Skill development, because there is a lot of skill development gap I can see. So we are focusing on skill development. With these, I cannot go into each and every detail like I said before. So I will convey my gratitude to Government of India for choosing Maharashtra as the host state for this prestigious event, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm also grateful to every participant, stakeholders who has played a vital role in making, which is already an enormous success, sir. So I congratulate you on behalf of Maharashtra. Last but not the least, we have recently come up with one expression of interest. This is a very interesting expression of interest, in which we have opened all 720-kilometer coast of Maharashtra. You can identify the place, you can choose your project, and you can give it to us. So it is as good as is various basis. You select your place, you select your project, give it to us. We will process this as per the new maritime policy, in which I said there is no red, it's all green. So with these words, I thank you, organizers. We are the co-host also. Thank you very much for inviting me for this prestigious event, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the initial remarks, setting the tone of this session. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, to felicitate the session chair, Shri Sanjay Bansode ji. I would request Shri Rajiv Jalota ji to kindly do us the honors. Can we have the memento and the stole, please? So here we have Shri Rajiv Jalota, Chairman, Mumbai Port Authority, who is the convener of this session. Felicitating the session chair, Shri Sanjay Bansode ji, Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra. Please accept this as a token of love and respect. Thank you. I would now request the CEO of MMB to please present a memento to Shri Rajiv Jalota ji, Chairman, Mumbai Port Authority. Come. Thank you. I would request Dr. Manik Gursal ji to present a memento to Principal Secretary, Ports and Transport, Government of Maharashtra, Shri Parag Jain Nenotia ji. A memento for Madam Jayashree Bose, Secretary, Tourism and Cultural Affairs Department, Government of Maharashtra. And one for Mr. D.N. Patil, Director of Tourism. You do it. Could I request someone from the MMB team, please, to step up on stage and present a memento to CEO of MMB, Dr. Manik Gursal. There is Captain Kara, yes. Thank you. I would now request our session chair, Shri Sanjay Bansode ji, Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra, for a special address.
महाराष्ट्र असल्यामुळे मी मराठीतून बोलणार. या सेशनला उपस्थित महाराष्ट्राचे एक कर्तव्यदक्ष म्हणून ज्यांना ओळखलं जातं ते राजीवजी जलोटाजी, चेअरमॅन मुंबई पोर्ट अथॉरिटी, पोर्टचे आमचे प्रधान सचिव परागजी जैनजी, पर्यटन विभागाच्या सचिव श्रीमती जयश्री भोज मॅम, नीरजजी बंसलजी, आमचे CEO मानिकजी गुरसाळजी, डॉक्टर BM पाटील, सागरी क्षेत्रातील सर्व विकासक बंधू आणि भगिनींनो, पहिल्यांदा तर मी आदरणीय सोनवालजी जे बंदरे जहाज बांधणी जलमार्ग मंत्री भारत सरकार आणि देशातील इतर राज्यातील बंदरे मंत्री आपल्या महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आज या जागतिक सागरी परिषदेला उपस्थित राहिले, त्याबद्दल राज्याचा मंत्री म्हणून मी पहिल्यांदा त्यांचं मनपूर्वक आपल्या राज्यामध्ये या ठिकाणी मी स्वागत करतो. खरं तर आमचे पराग जैन साहेबांनी इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलले, देशाचे प्राईम मिनिस्टरनी हिंदीमधून मनोगत भाषण त्या ठिकाणी केलं. आपलं महाराष्ट्र राज्य आहे आणि मी मराठी भाषाचा सुद्धा असल्यामुळं मी मुद्दामून मराठीतून बोलतो आणि समोर माझ्या सर्व विकासक जे आहेत ती बऱ्यापैकी मराठी आहेत. आज या जागतिक सागरी शिखर परिषदेसाठी आलेल्या जगभरातील सर्व सहभागी झालेल्या मान्यवरांचं मी महाराष्ट्र राज्याच्या वतीनं आणि खास करून बंदर विभागाच्या वतीनं मनपूर्वक या ठिकाणी मी स्वागत करतो. मुंबई होते आज होत असलेल्या ग्लोबल मॅरिटाईम इंडिया समिट 2023 अर्थात जागतिक सागरी शिखर परिषदेस संबोधन करताना मला खूप मोठा आनंद त्या ठिकाणी होतो आहे. कारण माझ्या कार्यकाळामध्ये मोठी जागतिक सागरी परिषद या ठिकाणी होत आहे. आपल्याला माहीत आहे की भारताचा आर्थिक विकास वेगानं होत आहे. या विकासात सागरी उद्योगाचा मोठा वाटा आहे आणि आपल्या सकल राष्ट्रीय उत्पन्नात वाढ आणि रोजगार निर्मितीचं काम या उद्योगाच्या माध्यमातून त्या ठिकाणी होत आहे. या जागतिक सागरी परिषद 2023मध्ये आयोजनात आपल्या केंद्र शासनाचे बंदर जहाजबांधणी आणि जलमार्ग मंत्रालयाचं महत्त्वाची भूमिका त्यांनी या ठिकाणी निभावलेली आहे. ही परिषद जागतिक सागरी उद्योगातील गुंतवणूक, नाविन्यपूर्ण तंत्रज्ञान, धोरणात्मक उपक्रम आणि सहकार्य यासाठी हे व्यासपीठ निर्माण करून देण्याचं काम करेल असा मंत्री म्हणून या ठिकाणी मला विश्वास आहे. मित्रांनो, तुम्हाला सर्वांना माहिती आहे की महाराष्ट्राला अतिशय समृद्ध असा सागरी इतिहास लाभला आहे. छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांनी या सागरी मार्गाचे महत्त्व ओळखून त्या काळी सागरी किल्ले बळकट केले. आजही महाराष्ट्र हे पश्चिम भारतातील सागरी व्यापारांच्या दृष्टीने अतिशय महत्त्वाचं केंद्र आहे. मुंबई बंदर आणि जवाहरलाल नेहरू बंदर हे दोन प्रमुख बंदरे अनेक वर्षापासून देशाच्या सागरी व्यापारात मोठे योगदान देत आहेत. मला सांगायला आनंद होत आहे की JSW जयगड, आंग्रे, दिघी, कारंजा टर्मिनल बंदरे ही चांगली प्रगती करीत आहेत आणि महाराष्ट्राचा सागरी व्यापार क्षेत्रातील सहभाग वाढवण्यात पूरक ठरत आहे. मला हे जाहीर करताना आनंद होतो आहे की महाराष्ट्र राज्याने नुकतीच आपली महत्त्वाकांक्षी महाराष्ट्र सागरी विकास धोरण 2023 जाहीर केलं आहे. या धोरणामध्ये सागरी क्षेत्राचे जवळपास सर्व पैलू समाविष्ट आहेत. उद्योगासाठी अतिशय चांगलं वातावरण महाराष्ट्रात आहे आणि राज्याचे बंदरे मंत्री या नात्यानं मी या जागतिक सागरी व्यापारी गुंतवणूकदारांना राज्यातील सागरी क्षेत्रात गुंतवणूक करण्याचं निमंत्रण देतो आणि त्यांना राज्याकडून आवश्यक ते सहकार्य आणि पाठबळ देण्याची ग्वाहीसुद्धा या ठिकाणी मी देतो. जागतिक सागरी परिषदेचे आयोजन करण्यासाठी सर्वतोपरी प्रयत्न केल्याबद्दल मी बंदरे, जहाज बांधणी आणि जलमार्ग मंत्रालयाचं मनापासून या ठिकाणी मी अभिनंदन करतो आणि या जागतिक परिषदेचे आयोजन करण्याची संधी आपण मुद्दामहून महाराष्ट्राला दिल्याबद्दल त्यांचे आभारसुद्धा या ठिकाणी व्यक्त करतो. आणि या शिखर परिषदेत सहभागी सर्व प्रतिनिधी, गुंतवणूकदार, उद्योजक यांचा सहभागाबद्दल त्यांचं मनापासून आभार मानतो आणि हे शिखर परिषद भविष्यातील सागरी व्यापारी क्षेत्रासाठी आवश्यक ठरेल असा विश्वास व्यक्त करतो आणि पुन्हा एकदा ग्लोबल मॅरिटाईम इंडिया समिटच्या भव्य अशा यशासाठी मी शुभेच्छा देतो आणि थांबतो. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र.
आजच्या अत्यंत महत्त्वाच्या प्रसंगी आपण उपस्थितांना संबोधित करत आपले बहुमोल विचार मांडले त्याकरता माननीय मंत्री महोदय आपले मनपूर्वक आभार. I will now invite Srimati Jayashree Bhoj, Secretary Tourism and Cultural Affairs Department, Government of Maharashtra, to address this August gathering. Ma'am.
नमस्कार. Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra, Shri Sanjay Bansode, Chairman Mumbai Port Authority, Shri Rajiv Jalota, Principal Secretary Transport and Port, Shri Parag Jain, and esteemed audience. At the outset, I would like to thank Jalota sir for having given us opportunity to showcase Maharashtra tourism in this August gathering. Tourism is one of the key drivers of economic growth and employment generation. According to World Travel and Tourism Council, tourism contributed 6.8% to India's GDP and supported 39.8 million jobs in 2018. Tourism also has a significant social and cultural benefit as it fosters intercultural exchange, promotes peace and harmony, and preserves the heritage and identity of the region. Coastal and marine tourism is a vital component of tourism sector as it offers a diverse range of attractions and activities to the tourists such as beaches, islands, coral reefs, marine wildlife, water sports, cruises, etc. Coastal and marine tourism is also one of the fastest growing segments of the global tourism industry. According to the OECD report on the ocean economy, in 2030, coastal and marine tourism is expected to grow from $390 billion in 2010 to $580 billion in 2030, surpassing offshore oil and gas as the largest ocean-based industry. Coastal and marine tourism is also projected to create 40 million jobs by 2030, accounting for 26% of the total ocean economy employment. Maharashtra is endowed with a long coastline of about 720 kilometers, which offers immense potential for coastal and marine tourism development. Maharashtra has some of the most scenic and diverse coastal landscape in India, ranging from sandy beaches to rocky cliffs, from mangroves to estuaries, from fishing villages to urban centers. Maharashtra also has a rich maritime history and culture which can be showcased through its forts, temples, monuments, festivals and cuisines. Maharashtra's coastal and marine tourism can cater to various segments of tourists such as domestic and international, leisure and business, adventure and wellness. To enhance its competitiveness, Maharashtra is adopting a holistic approach with key strategies: developing aquatic tourism attractions of global standards, bringing innovation in aquatic tourism, capacity building, and embracing sustainability process. The Maharashtra Tourism Development Corporation has been instrumental in promoting maritime tourism with institutions like Indian Institute of Scuba Diving and Aquatic Tourism, ISDA, in Sindhudurg, offering scuba diving training and water sports. There's Nashik Boat Club, which is a popular boating facility on the Godavari River. There is Boat Club in Ganpati Pule, offering water sports and entertainment, MICE tourism destinations for corporate events, and future plans are establishing world-class yacht clubs in inland waters at Gosikur Dam and Koyna Reservoir. Maharashtra has immense potential for cruise tourism development. The state also has rich natural and cultural attractions that can be explored by tourists who arrive by sea. Mumbai Port Authority has been taking initiatives to promote cruise tourism in Mumbai, such as developing world-class terminal, providing incentives and facilities to cruise operators, and organizing events and festivals to showcase city's heritage and diversity. However, there is a need to shift from a Mumbai-centric approach and popularize other coastal as well as inland destinations that can cater to diverse interests and preferences of cruise tourists. Some of the possible areas of investments are developing harbor and marina infrastructure in other ports such as Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Alibag, Dahanu to facilitate the docking and servicing of cruise liners' yachts. This would also create opportunities for local employment and entrepreneurship in maritime sector. Developing integrated tourism circuits that link the coastal and inland destinations with thematic trails such as heritage, wildlife, adventure. This would enhance the tourist experience and also encourage longer stays and thus higher spending. For example, a cruise tourist who arrives in Mumbai can visit the UNESCO heritage site of Elephanta Caves and then Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, then take a ferry to Alibag and enjoy the beach activities. Further, proceed to Ratnagiri and explore the Konkan culture and cuisine, and then take a road trip to Koyna Reservoir and indulge in aquatic sports. These are some of the possible investment opportunities in harbor, marina cruise liners, yacht tourism in Maharashtra that can boost the state's economy and tourism potential. It is evident that gender inequality within the aquatic tourism sector is currently imbalanced, with a predominant male presence. As part of our commitment, our department is determined to take additional measures to empower women of all the districts of Maharashtra, particularly those in rural areas, by offering capacity building opportunities in the realm of aquatic tourism. Maharashtra is determined to establish itself as a positive maritime state in India. This vision aims to position Maharashtra uniquely in the global tourism market. The state recognizes the immense potential of leveraging its coastal resources to drive economic growth, generate employment, enhance social well-being, preserve its rich culture, and protect the environment. The Department of Tourism is dedicated to realizing this commitment by harnessing the maritime assets to foster sustainable and innovative tourism and ensuring a remarkable experience for all the visitors. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for providing such valuable information that will certainly be beneficial to all present. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now play an AV on Magnetic Maharashtra, followed by a short film on the Radio Club. I direct your attention to the screen, please. रेडियो क्लब के पहले हम महाराष्ट्र पर्यटन पर एक फिल्म चलाएंगे। मैं आपका ध्यान फिर से एक बार स्क्रीन की तरफ आकर्षित करूंगी। As is evident from the film, Maharashtra is as magnificent as it is magnetic. Let us move on to the Radio Club audiovisual. All right. With that, we move to the panel discussion on future of exports, port-led industrialization. I will invite the session moderator, Mr. Shardul Fadnavis, partner, PwC. Please onto the stage, sir. And the speakers, Mr. K.V. Natarajan, Project Director, Karanza Terminal, Mr. K.K. Dave, Senior Vice President and Unit Head, JSW Jaigat Port Limited, Mr. Ameya Pratap Singh, Managing Director, Yogyatan Ports, Mr. Ashim Mongia, Director, West Coast Marine Yacht Services Private Limited, Mr. Neeraj Bansal, CEO, Hazira Port, Adani Ports and SEZ, Mr. Kapil Khandelwal, CEO, Dighi Port, Adani Ports and SEZ, Madam Carla Salvato, Deputy General Manager, Commercial and Marketing Port Authority of Barcelona. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, gentlemen. So thank you for the patience as we just had a quick changeover and we are set. So we intend to begin with a presentation by Mr. K.V. Natarajan, Project Director, Karanza Terminal. Sir. As you please, sir. It's a presentation, so if you would prefer to come here on the podium. Yeah.
That point there. Good afternoon, everybody. Of course, I will finish my talk in 5 minutes. I will maintain that. So actually, the number of problems I am raising here, it appears that the port policy is already giving solution to that. I am very happy with that. I have to only go through and make sure that it adequately addresses all these issues. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. Next. See, the key opportunities in the marine sector is already given in the brochure. It's only a repetition, so we can, next. Out of this, I am focusing 4 areas where there is an urgent need for development of these marine facilities in Maharashtra. One is water metro for Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, which has started even in Cochin, but not yet in Bombay. Bulk port for Mumbai and Raigad region, because we don't have, most of the material in bulk is coming through only double handling by coming through a mothership and again transferred through smaller ferries to a jetty point. Then ship repair and shipbuilding in Dharmatar Creek. In fact, the Port Secretary already mentioned that they have made the policy very simple and there is a very ideal location available in Dharmatar for locating this. Then the real estate development across the coast, that also Tourism Secretary mentioned it. I wish all these things fructifies in a very short time. Yeah, next. Next. See, regarding water metro, actually sufficient facilities are already available. All that I request is MMB to take interest and make sure that somehow this can go through. Already we have got 14 points where jetties are available. All we need is we have to organize a dredging where there is sufficient depth available in all the terminals and also make some small modifications. But we have to bring high-speed electric ferries, not very high-end kind of vessel, nor the present country craft. It has to be a mass transit system. And I wish the MMB is able to find an answer to this in a very short time. I am going to, in another slide, I will show you the investment involved here is not much. All that is required is action by the concerned. Yeah, next. See, these are the already 14 points where already ferry facilities are available in Bombay. Next. Here we have identified where are the places where it is readily available and where probably we need to make something more. Next. Then this is, what is already available and what is proposed. Next. Now, what we need is we have to do some standardization to the present jetties so that all types of vessels which we are contemplating can touch all these ferry points. Then we have to develop the terminals in such a way that, cafeteria and rest houses and all are created so that it will earn enough revenue for the person who operates the ferry service. Then environmental clearance, of course, need to be taken when you want to do it on a complete scale to cover the whole of Maharashtra coast. Yeah. Next. Now, see, if you see the project cost, it is only coming around 3,250 crores compared to, say, for example, MTHL bridge is about 22,000 crores. And any tunnel project for metro, for railways and all is of the order of 1,000 and odd crores or sometimes 3,000 crores. Whereas this requires only an investment of 3,250 crores, which I am sure we should find a way to bring this into reality very soon. Next. Now, so business models can be, see, transport pricing, particularly you go for electric driven boats, then it will be very nominal. Cruise, there can be income from cruise. Then these are all other related areas where you can get income and make the model workable. Yeah, next. Now, bulk port for Mumbai region, you see what is happening. Earlier, Revas was planned and it would have satisfied the need for both bulk and container in this area, but somehow Revas could not come. So, in the absence of Revas, today there is, though there are, JNPT is a container port and it is further expanding on containers, but Vadavan is a port which is yet to come, and when it comes, it will take care of the central Maharashtra and northern Gujarat. But for Bombay and Raigad and Pune region, we really need a bulk port, particularly at least to handle vessels up to the size of Panamax vessels. Yeah, next. For this, Karanjia will be a very ideal location because Karanjia has got a very good rail and road connectivity. The success of a port is what? You need a good rail and road connectivity. And Karanjia has got 8-lane road immediately and also commercial loading terminal which is going to come up in Ulve. And also all the new warehouses in Bombay or in New Bombay which are connected by 8-lane road from Karanjia. And when coastal traffic really picks up, Karanjia can also do containerization. That means bring the break bulk by ferries to Karanjia and containerize them and send it to JNP. Yeah. So Karanjia is here we are showing in the map, the yellow dot is the place where Karanjia is there. You see the rail and road connection. In fact, New Bombay has got that is Dronagiri node has got an excellent road connectivity, and the rail connectivity is also there. You can see that other line, that green line is the railway and yellow is the road. Yeah, next. Next. So for ship repair, as I told you, Dharmatar is a very ideal location because in New Bombay you have skilled labor force available, and we have done already the geotechnical investigation and we find it very ideal for locating the ship repair facility there even for Cape-size vessels. Next. Next. Yeah, the location, this is the location for that black square is the location for the ship repair facility, which is very ideal, which is just at the mouth of Dharmatar Creek. And it has got a large industrial area behind. I am told the NMSEZ area has been now converted into an integrated industrial development zone. So enough area is available to support all ancillary industries which can support the ship repair. And also, you see, India is also not having any facility for heavy equipments, particularly key cranes and such facilities. So those things can be started in that area. Next. Next. So then the revival of ports along the coast of Maharashtra. In fact, Tourism Secretary dealt this point very well. In fact, see, instead of nowadays the real estate is developing right up to Pune all along the express highway. Instead, if we can have similar townships all along the coastal areas where there is presently a very small village, provided you are able to give good, quick access from there to the city, which can be done by water transport. So the emphasis on water transport can make a big difference in the way Maharashtra can develop. So I have seen also, of course, there is a coastal road. For that, for the success of development of coastal towns, coastal road and coastal rail are also required. Coastal road is planned, but I request that the coastal road should be planned almost literally going along the coast, like the way we have done near Bandra, that is near Bandra, how we have gone 80 meters from the land and then made the road. Like that, we should do a road practically along the plains, literally touching the coast of the entire Maharashtra, giving also room for adding railways later. So this will make a big difference in the way Maharashtra coast develops. Thank you very much. And one more slide, which I should not forget. This is not actually the point of the topic, but I just want to bring this, being a professional, going through the marine tenders being tendered out by the government. What I am finding, in fact, I retired as chief engineer JNPT. Even when we did the JNPT tender, we had given option for alternate designs, because alternate design gives scope for ingenuity by the private builders. Whereas right now I am finding some big tenders of the government, they are not given any option. This is ruling out ingenuity, and sometimes this buries what probably could have come if an opportunity was given. In the process, both the consultant and the government doesn't know what they are losing. So I want alternate option in every government tender to be made mandatory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Natarajan. We have another presentation by Mr. K. Dave, Senior Vice President and Unit Head, JSW Jaigarh Port Limited.
Yes, very good afternoon to all. I am here showing the real advantage what we have achieved in Maharashtra's big coastline and utilizing all the resources. That's a major big port and inland waterways, and then making it a hub and spoke model. Basically, what nowadays people are talking that big industries can happen only where either connectivity is there, resources are there. If you talk about natural resource industry, mineral industry, generally we were all having a mindset that industries can take place at the pit head only, at the mines head only. But after the 2015, when India has seen the auction era in the mining industry, now it's purely a supply chain model for any kind of manufacturing, whether it's a metal or mineral-based industry. Because now the mineral is not available at throwaway prices. It's auction material, so you are always getting it the market price only or at the premium itself. So we can proudly say that JSW, being a largest steel producer of this country, we have identified this particular potential in the very beginning, and our entire steel assets are on the strength of our supply chain arrangements only. So I am just presenting our supply chain model of Dolvi Steel Plant, which is a 10 million ton steel plant located at Dolvi, which is just at the Vadkal Naka in a very small area. So what we did, we are having operating a port at Jaigarh. Yes, please, next. This plant is currently producing 10 million ton of steel. And I think most of people are knowing that Jamshedpur itself is also only producing 11 million tons, a big city, whereas Dolvi is only producing in a smaller area 10 million tons. And for all practical purposes, producing 1 ton of steel requires movement of 5 tons of material. That's 3 tons is raw material and then some finished goods and waste all together. So all this raw material is being connected for this Dolvi plant is through Dharamtar channel. And earlier this plant was operated only up to 2.5 million tons of capacity because that was limited to the Bombay anchorage handling capacity. It's limited because max 10 million tons can be handled at Bombay anchorage for that particular plant. So that plant was able to operate only at the 3 million tons. What the JSW did next. We are having JSW Jaigarh Port at the coastal Konkan in Ratnagiri district, just between Mumbai, Goa, a deep draft port, and we are connecting all raw material for this Dolvi plant at Jaigarh, and then we are transshipping it through smaller vessels of 8,000 ton, specially designed vessels, which can operate in 5-meter draft. Dharamtar channel currently is 3.5-meter depth, and with the tidal restrictions also, we are able to connect almost 24 million tons of raw material in that channel. Out of that, only 10 million tons comes from Mumbai anchorage. Rest everything comes from Jaigarh. So that's a hub and spoke model that currently we are almost 13 to 15 million tons of raw material is getting connected for this Dolvi plant from Jaigarh, taking all the advantage of bigger vessels. Jaigarh is capable of handling Velamax size of vessel. It's a 4 lakh tons of vessel. So we bring all the raw material, including coastal or imported, whatever it is, unloading at Jaigarh and then transshipping it to Dharamtar, just near the Dolvi plant. So that's a perfect example how these waterways and resources can be utilized in a better way if you want to make a situation where industries can flourish on maritime sector, taking the advantage of having a strength of supply chain arrangement. Because now that days have gone where mineral-based industry could have seen that industry can happen only at the mindset. Now it has been changed entirely. Supply chain arrangement has to be made. Next. So in this entire hub and spoke model, there are three components are involved: Jaigarh Port, Dharamtar Creek Port, River Port, and third one is that's Dharamtar River itself. It's a largest, I can say, inland water. Just for the sake of clarity, out of the total coastal movement of this country, 50% happens in Maharashtra, and out of that, almost more than 50% is being done by JSW in this particular single channel. This channel is currently handling almost 30 million tons. So there is a huge potential of developing all the inland waterways, and we can make really a good model for developing any kind of industry. It's only thing that's a recent development of MMB, that's a very good port policy is already there. It's having all very good fiscal incentives, but it's only few things again has to be added from the entire state, not from the only port only. The areas where we are having bigger ports or the rivers, that inland waterways has to be developed, some smaller jetties has to be developed, and the areas where we are connecting these rivers or seaports at particular locations. Only thing in Maharashtra and Konkan belt, I can say one issue is there. Water is not available there. If you can make water available, I can visualize that Jaigarh could be next Mundra in days to come. That much I can guarantee. Because you are having well-connected port, rail connectivity is there. With the recent development in central government when Vaibhavwadi Kolhapur is already been declared. So Jaigarh can also get connected with railway line directly. Land is there. That land, even that Konkan area is sparsely populated area. It's not having very big population in that. So land availability is not a big question. The next requirement for any industry is only water. If government can make any arrangements or any PPP model, something can be made developed, because water requirement will be used for big industrial in the range of 20 to 25,000 cubic meters per day. That could be the requirement for that kind of industrialization. If you want to see next Mundra in Maharashtra, please, next. This is the diagram of Dharamtar channel. Our port is located just at the bottom, and that's the Mumbai anchorage port, anchorage which we are using for our specially designed vessels. Next. So this is all put together, the hub and spoke model which we have really implemented in last 7-8 years and proved that this can be made possible, steel can be made without having mine, without plant located at mine's head, and it can be made a good industry practices, and we can do really utilize all the resources we are utilizing, and both the ports are within the Maharashtra. So we are having all the advantages of that port policies of concessional royalty and everything is there. Next. This is the schematic diagram for the entire scheme what we are having. At Jaigarh, we are having all the bigger vessels coming, then unloading, then loading into smaller 8,000 DWT vessels where we are transshipping entire thing to Dolvi and making steel. Please next. This entire thing, coastal movement and inland waterways development, if we talk maritime vision of the government of India, including Maharashtra government, if we add few more things, because ultimately this entire industrialization can happen where we are having all three things connected. And this blue economy which we are talking, our Honorable Prime Minister is always talking about that. Certainly this makes a huge difference, because as a country we are having the biggest coastline available. We have not developed our inland waterways so far, but yes, now people are, IWI has already come up with the new two tenders of inland waterways development of Maharashtra. That's one is NW10, that is a Dharamtar Creek, for making deeper draft. Currently it's a 3.5 meter only. So IWI is looking for deeper draft of 5 meter to increase the capacity of that channel. And second, Vasishti River, that's from Dabhol to Chiplu. Chiploon is another industrial area where it can have big potential. Currently, with all said and done, JNPA is having a very big congestion for container capacities. So that can also be looked into. Can we have hub and spoke model for that container? Because currently what's happening, containers bringing from Chiploon, Goa, Ratnagiri to JNPA, then putting some congestion. Can we have some sort of hub and spoke model there itself, that within Chiploon we can start container operations and bring it to JNPA, or we can bring it to Jaigarh or whatever it is. So that kind of hub and spoke model, it's a proven model. We have just, after 10 years of operation, we can say that yes, we have made it a proven model. It can be very well done. Only thing, some support is required in terms of, for the industrialization, some support in terms of water, especially in Konkan region where water is a really scarce commodity. Only in Chiploon you can have the Koina water, otherwise in entire below south, water is not available. So whatever the industrial proposals are coming, inquiries are coming to us that to set up industries. So I am able to give them power. I am able to give them connectivity through port, rail, everything is there, but water is the issue. So that solution has to be seen. Next. Thank you.
Sorry, but we have constraints of time, and I hope the rest of the speakers please keep that in mind. So let us move to the next speaker, Mr. Ameya Pratap Singh, Managing Director, Yogyatan Ports.
Thank you very much. I don't have a presentation, but maybe that means I'll live up to the time limit, so it's a trade-off. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Maharashtra Maritime Board for giving me the opportunity to share the days with such luminaries from the maritime sector in Maharashtra, and from the regulatory side as well, the Honorable Minister, the Secretary. When I was given the opportunity to share my thoughts, my 2 cents on Maharashtra's maritime sector, it was a bit challenging to decide what subject I could shed light on. Professedly, I'm a newcomer to the sector, so there are some challenges there. But what I want to do is use the example of the terminal that we are building in Mankur, the Yogyatan Ports in Mankur, and to sort of reflect on what that says about the state of play in Maharashtra generally. When I started examining the maritime sector in Maharashtra, what I found was very interesting is that we have 2 large major ports. But still in Mumbai Harbour, we have a number of smaller ports coming up. We heard the representative from Karanja Port. There's our port coming up. There's PNP Port in Raigad. So it was very interesting to me that if there are these large major ports, why do you need smaller ports to cater to some other type of demand? What is this demand? What is the specific logistics need that these ports are looking after? So I like to conceptualize it as the emergence of niche private ports. So the first thing is that what these smaller ports are now able to do, especially what we want to do now at Yogyatan, is that give clients end-to-end services. So a lot of the times, especially if clients have lower volumes, they have less bargaining power vis-a-vis major ports. But if they have needs with respect to coordination with the unloading, loading port, if they have shipping requirements, if they need bespoke handling, storage, last mile delivery, these are attributes that a smaller port, a non-major port, a smaller port in the vicinity which offers niche services can perhaps do better. So for instance, just to give you an example, you can see that there is an unmet demand of bulk commodities. JNPA now has patronage primarily of container cargo, Mumbai port on liquid and POL. So there is a large amount of dry bulk cargo which then falls into the category of unmet demand, for which these niche ports are now coming up to cater to that demand. So for instance, Karanja does good volumes of coal. We want to do non-coal cargoes. Primarily, major ports have not catered to this demand because there are some environmental concerns with respect to dusting. So there is that added burden on niche ports to make sure that while they are taking care of this unmet demand, that they are doing so in an environmentally sensitive manner. Finally, even though it may often be assumed that minor ports, lightridge operations increase the overall cost of the operation for the end client, but sometimes that's not the case, especially if you have a locational advantage and the minor port is located closer to the industrial base, then you can offset it against the reduction in road freight costs. Additionally, unlike major ports, larger port projects to come up, Projects of this nature are less capital intensive, can operate at lower EBITDA margins, offer shorter payback periods for investments. So they can also reduce the cost that is being transferred to the end client. This means that very often light dredge operations, the discharge rates that are offered are equally competitive to major ports. So I really do see this as an emerging concept in Maharashtra, and perhaps something that even Maharashtra can export to other states. Because ordinarily in other states, smaller port projects that do come up are often captive jetties. But Maharashtra has been able to show that there are greenfield investments that the private sector can make, which can also fructify and show results. In terms of, before I finish, I would just like to say that there are some concerns as well of projects of this nature, especially with respect to the containerization of bulk commodities as time goes on. But with the efforts that the Inland Waterway Authority and the Maharashtra Maritime Board are making, I'm sure the projects of this nature will proliferate and prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. And the next presentation is by Mr. Ashi Mongia, Director, West Coast Marine Yacht Services Private Limited.
Q&A is in the end, but I don't think we're going to have time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the organizer. I'd like to thank the organizers for giving us this opportunity to present at this esteemed event. I'd also like to thank everyone that's made it possible to be here and hear us speak this afternoon. This morning when I was driving here to the exhibition, I was stuck in traffic for 1 hour. And the first thought that crossed my mind was that if we had a better water taxi system and a better, robust inland waterway system that could work on the eastern waterfront and give us an opportunity, maybe we could all save some time. We have been working and moving forward to doing something with the waterways and development, and I'm going to just take you through that today. First slide, please. Next slide. The Indian coastline is 7,000 kilometers, and it's one of the untapped natural resources of the country. Maharashtra alone has 700 kilometers plus. The inland waterways has 14,000 kilometers. Traditionally, we have used our coastline only for defense, fishing, and trade. Globally, passenger water transport and leisure boating provide a huge push to development. To give you some context, Italy has a similar coastline size, 7,500 kilometers. IBIS World reports that sea and coastal passenger water transport in Italy are worth $4 billion and directly employ nearly 3.5 lakh people. The associated industries with them, which is repair, manufacturing, and other industries that go with it, contribute as a multiplier effect. In India, we are currently not even at a fraction of this number. Providing effective connectivity has a direct impact on tourism. If we want to take a share of this industry, which is likely to reach $5.5 trillion globally, developing marinas and water transport would be the key. The development of water transport, along with the waterfront development, can be a huge industry in the next decade. Studies in the developed markets show that for every US dollar spent on a marina development or a waterfront development, $6.5 to $10 goes back in the local economy, in the community that marinas and waterfronts develop. Apart from this, it drives employment, boatyards, contractors, chandleries, victualers, bunkering services, and has a ripple-down effect in the economy. This also adds to tourism development and also eventually leads to developing local communities. Next slide, please. It is my proud honor to share the success of the M2M ferries. The Maharashtra Maritime Board and the Mumbai Port Authority initiated to launch the first of its kind services. Press play, please. So to showcase some of our proud achievements in the last 3 years of operation, we hold a 99% punctuality record. The ship waits for no one, other than a medical or technical emergency that we've had from time to time. We have carried over 1.5 million passengers and more than 2.5 lakh cars and 75,000 two-wheelers. Two things that we are really proud of. We promote gender equality and women empowerment. We have a woman in every department, including in engineering. Our CEO, Devika Sehgal, is one of the few women in the maritime industry. We are also one of the only ferry services in India that is designed to care for differently abled people. Raigad, which was accessible only by road 4 months of the year, is now connected year-round with reliable service. Mandwa, which used to average 2,000 footfalls a day when we got involved in 2014, today gets an average of 20,000 footfalls a day. By carrying passengers and cars on the ship, we reduce both traffic congestion and carbon footprint. I think it's no secret that with the launch of M2M ferries, Raigad is booming. Tourism, employment, land value have all skyrocketed. My simple submission, if we can do this in one location with a single RoPax, imagine the opportunity that lies ahead of us. What you see in front of you is some of the small achievements that we've had. We came in 2014, and what you see is the old pictures of Mandwa Jetty. And as we've moved forward from there, we've had more and more developments that are coming up. From ground transportation to restaurants to free activities, we have worked towards creating a terminal that we can be proud of. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Last week, we witnessed the opening of an international brand, Starbucks, at our terminal. They are employing local village staff and upskilling them. As we change waterfronts in India, we have the opportunity to change lives as we create new jobs and new opportunities. The next step is also to work with government and create a water taxi system and a water metro around the eastern harbour front. I've been told we're running short of time, so I'm going to run through a little bit. In simple terms, developing waterfronts and water transport generates prosperity, improves connectivity, and raises employment. There is also improved security and other benefits that come along with waterfront development. Given the opportunity, we could develop a water metro around the inner eastern waterfront, eventually running larger ships to larger ports with RoPax services and passenger services in between the smaller ports. This would save the time that I was talking about this morning. Something of this can become a reality. We have started with phase 1, DCD Belapur, where we had some success. The other routes need some working on in terms of development. We are working with government on that. Last but not the least, I'd like to also add the fact that what we are missing today on our waterfronts is a marina. Marinas anchor global tourism. This has brought prosperity to every developing nation in the world. We are a country that today has one marina in Cochin and nothing else across the country. Marina has a 10x multiplier effect not only on land value, but also on employment. And this will be the next big boost for tourism in Maharashtra, tourism in India, and put us on the global map worldwide. The opportunity is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mongia. And another presentation by Mr. Neeraj Bansal, CEO, Hazira Port, Adani Ports and SEZ.
Good afternoon. I'll be very precise. Honorable Minister of Ports, Government of Maharashtra, senior officers from the Government of Maharashtra, congratulations for this wonderful maritime policy which have been inaugurated, launched recently. I think it will give a huge boost for the private sector to invest in the port sector in Maharashtra. Primarily means I have seen both sides of the world and I've been associated with sector for the last 7-8 years. So my take on things is like we're talking about few things, but we are going to look at a much larger picture of India in the next coming years. Ports are known as the gateway for prosperity because we handle almost 95% of import-export volume through seaway ports. We are looking at 5 trillion economy by 2025. Recently, I was interacting with Ministry of Commerce. They have set a new target, new vision document. By 2030, they want to touch $2 trillion export of merchandise and services from India. Amrit Kal, we are looking at by 2047 will be a developed nation. And Principal Secretary Transport has added a new thing. He is saying that 1 trillion contribution by Maharashtra in the 5 trillion economy of India. So we're looking at these 4 benchmarks. Looks difficult, but if you look at the journey of Indian economy, that will give you a lot of confidence. Our first $1 trillion were added to economy in 58 years period. Second $1 trillion came in next 12 years. And last $1 trillion economy was added in just 5 years. So this is the pace, and the industry experts say within a decade, we'll be looking at 1 trillion addition of economy in every 1.5 years. So you can look at, we are looking at an economy of $40 trillion or $45 trillion by 2047. So the kind of economic activity you're looking at will be phenomenal. So the kind of ports you require, infrastructure you require, that will be humongous. Second is in 1999, India got into this PPP mode where we invited the private sector to come and invest in the ports. It was a closed sector where the government was running the major ports. And now then the healthy mix of private competition has come up. We have matured during last 23, 24 years. First generation reforms have taken place. We have heard Prime Minister in the morning, what he was talking about, the turnaround time of ships have reduced from 46 hours to 23 hours during this transition of last 10 years. So this is the first generation reform where things have standardized, cargo handling has improved, we have reached to the world standards. But the new awakening has come in the form of COVID, because COVID disrupted the global supply chain and our every port suffered immensely because of that. Our group is very conscious in that sense that the next levers of efficiency, effectiveness will come through technology levers. We are looking at a disruption, complete disruption, and how the things will shape up in the coming years, we have to be very mindful while framing a policy. Secretary Transport and Ports is holding additional charge of Secretary IT also. I think if we look at a comprehensive view how the globe is shaping up in transforming in technology sense, probably it will help us in understanding how to play a enabler's role to have a uniform policy for things around and get the maximum leverage out of this. What I've tried to do is I've run through various initiatives and what things have happened in the perspective of 2030, 2040, that how the technology is going to change. Next. So one is this Internet of Things. There are so many instruments, so many data points, how you can bring them under one roof, how they speak to each other, how they create synergy, how you have the best sensors. The sensors will now predict the predictive maintenance. So human intervention will reduce. Probably we are looking that kind of situation where things will be steadily automated. We'll be having high maintenance, low fuel consumption, So presently what we are using is RFID, sensor, robotic automation through this Internet of Things. Next. Second comes the artificial intelligence and data analysis. Today, I think on so many places we are collecting data. But this data is not speaking to each other because the different instruments collecting data, how to read it, how to make it smarter. Probably the next wave will come up through artificial intelligence and data analytics, where the entire data will be made a smart data, readable data, actionable data through artificial intelligence. We can predict the timing of delivery, the vessel berthing times, how to have just-in-time delivery of cargoes. Next. Similar is advanced monitoring systems, where how we can monitor our ships movement across the world, what could be the best route to follow, at what time the congestion can be taken care of. So probably these kind of technologies will help us in mitigating these kind of challenges which maritime sector faces now. What next? The next point is the ESG initiatives, where I think maritime sector is contributing 3% to the global carbon emission. Our target is by 2050 want to reduce it to half. These are the initiatives which will help us with the higher volume surging, how we can go for the green shipping. LNG has been tested. It has been proved successful. We are looking at biofuels, hydrogen. Probably this is a new fuel which will change the industry in the coming years. Next. Renewable marine energy. We are looking at wind turbines, solar panels, hydrogen futures. So I'm saying these things we heard in the beginning when I joined the port sector in 2014, but the kind of transformation we saw that makes me believe that these things will happen, but within a time frame of 5 to 10 years. Next. Robotic technology. We have the tankers, we are handling difficult chemicals, engine repairs. Probably in that, robotic technology is going to help us immensely. Secondly, after COVID, we are realizing the shortage of skilled manpower. Probably this is the channel through which we are going to change it. Probably I heard some industry expert, all automobile industry which are coming to India now, they have this robotics. Most of the people are having automated plants nowadays, very less human intervention required. So your supply chain is not disrupted, your factory runs 24/7, and through this way you are enhancing the customer satisfaction. Next. When we come to the revolution in ship size, bigger ships have come. I think container, when I got introduced to sector, we used to have a 6,000 TEUs ships calling it to India. Today the ship size has gone to 20,000 plus TEUs. So that kind of scale has changed. And because of that, the deep draft requirement has come up. Blast water management, hull shape, how you can make your ships lesser noisy, lesser disturbing the marine culture, how it can be more fuel efficient. These are the things which have come up, sir. Next. So what in Adani we are doing? We are using with Chat GPT, I think everybody is familiar with. We are adopting GPT in a big way, where the digitization of business processes will become very fast. The technology requirement, need base will become very fast so that we can meet the challenges of change in business. How we can go for the just-in-time delivery of digitization processes. Artificial intelligence, we are working on a large data processing in a shorter time. And then comes the port community system, how we can bring all stakeholders at one platform to create a seamless experience for them. Next. So when I talk about Adani, probably we took few initiatives. I think in our few ports, we have completely gone for electric trucks now. The ship to shore operation is entire electric TTs we use. Cranes, we have gone for electrification, so we are not using fuel. So how to reduce carbon emission? I think in the future, the money will flow where the ESG compliances will happen in a stricter sense. So industry has to take note of that, how to go forward. Potential challenge when we look at this kind of huge change, disruption will happen because it is going to disrupt the existing businesses. So first is the capital cost of bringing the new technology, how it will be absorbed. And second is cyber security will be a huge challenge, which probably the policymakers have to keep in mind. So
I'll say in that sense that we are at the cusp of a huge revolution in business. Probably we have to be ready with the adequate infrastructure to drive this initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bansal. And the panel debate speaker of this session is Mr. Kapil Khandelwal, CEO, Dighi Port, Adani Ports and SEZ.
Namaskar. I will not take much time. I know that we are running short of time. I just want to inform about the developments which are taking place at Dighi Port. After taking over by APSEZ, we have started revival of Dighi Port. We want to develop it as a full-fledged port with facilities of container terminal, ro-ro facility, LPG, LNG terminal, CFS, then liquid terminals, bulk and black bulk cargo with storage, open storage and covered storage facilities. We plan to develop there 20 berths and 2 single point mooring with a targeted capacity of 140 million metric ton per annum. Once this port is developed, definitely the congestion in the nearby port will go down. We are connecting our port with a dedicated rail line from Roha junction to Agadanda. Then we will have connectivity to the dedicated freight corridor. Similarly, the road, which is quite good as of now also, is further being widened as to take care of the future requirement in support with Government of Maharashtra and NHAI. And once this port is developed, it will lead to a complete socio-economy upliftment of the entire region. And it is a good opportunity for port-based industries to come up and invest in that region. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Khandelwal. And the last presentation of the session is by Madam Carla Salvado, Deputy General Manager, Commercial and Marketing, Port Authority of Barcelona.
Is it working? Is it working? Yeah. Now. Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, thank you very much, the organization, for inviting the Port of Barcelona to participate and for giving me the opportunity to be among these distinguished guests. So thank you very much. I will try to be very short and to share the experience of the Port of Barcelona and among all, on top of that, the lessons that we have learned that I want to share with you. First of all, let me, the first thought that I have, it's a port must have reasons to be. So I see that you are developing a lot the port system. So it's one of the lessons that we learn is that the port must have a reason to be. We cannot construct and build a port without having studied some reasons and some considerations. I will try to transform that into, I don't want to transform in a promotion, but I will take the case of Barcelona to reason all that fact. In our case, we have decided to be the gate of the Europe and the Mediterranean Sea. So our reason to be is because we consider and we have enough, you will see the reasons. And so in the case that you are developing ports, it's why are you developing that port? Which is the reason to do so? So in our case, that was first our location, and our location was giving us an access to a huge market. So we have a market behind. We cannot develop something if you don't have a market behind. Second, to create all-in-a-house logistics, not only a port, but you need a logistics zone, you need an airport, you need really not only a distribution area, warehouses, everything. So third, the connectivity, but not only maritime. You need also rail. By the way, congratulations on all the projects that I have heard, because it's really great. So I think that the rail is very, very important too for sustainability, environmental sustainability, but so think not only about maritime and the port itself, but also the connectivity to the market. And third, oriented port, because I'm from the States, so I'm a public port, and I realize that we have to be more customer-oriented, like private companies. We are serving the society. The mission of a port at the end is contribute to create richness to the society. So this is customer orientation. I think that it is very, very important. So in our location market, I'm not going to promote the port. We have 400 million consumers behind our port. We have one logistics hub. We have the logistics area. We have the airport. We are a very diversified port. Why? Because we have everything behind, not because we wanted. For instance, we have cruisers. We have cruisers not because we wanted to have cruisers, it's because the city is a tourist city, but you cannot put cruisers if you don't have a tourist city behind. We have containers because we have an industry behind, not because we want to have containers. In fact, we wouldn't like to have so much things. We don't have a space. So we have cars because we have a factory from SEAT next to the port. So there is a reason behind of each thing. And there is the airport and everything. So again, high maritime rail connection here, just to have in mind that it's not only about maritime, but the board is also about rail connection. This is something very rail connection. And last but not least is the customer-oriented. The customer-oriented, in our case, we have a quality plan to make sure that we are giving a good service. And, but it's what's behind there. You have a reason, but you need to have, let's say, like a vision, like a way to do things. Let me share with you our vision. Our vision is to be a smart port, a sustainable, multimodal, agile, resilient, and transparent. We are based everything on 3 pillars: economic, environmental, and social sustainability with a clear objectives. And let me end my presentation presenting you a video about that. Excuse me. I don't know if maybe you can help me from... No. Down. There is on the...
Our story goes back a long way. It is a story that has evolved in parallel with the economic and demographic changes that have taken place around the world. From the first loading and unloading operations of the 5th century BC to the expansions that turned the port of Barcelona into what it is today. A port that has learned to adapt to its environment, one that is working towards becoming the most sustainable, multimodal, agile, resilient, and transparent logistics hub in the Mediterranean. But what is the port of the future like? It is a port that is resistant to crises and changes, with new activities that enrich its services. A port for a greener future.
That is why we have set strategic objectives that continue to make our port a leader in the environmental sphere.
Focused on customers and their needs.
Because if the companies are competitive in global markets, we all improve with them.
A port for Barcelona and for the world, which establishes synergies with the city.
At the forefront of technology, with educational opportunities and with cultural and employment options open to all.
This is our future, and these are our goals through 2040.
A future with technology as a vehicle for sustainability. More competitive, closer to customers, A future that we have started to build today with a new strategic plan.
A future we are already making possible.
A better future for all.
Thank you very much.
We have actually exceeded the time. There will be another session post the Maharashtra session. Do we have time to open the house?
Maybe 10, 15 minutes. I don't know why. When do we have a hard stop? So, what's our hard stop for this session? No more than 10 minutes? Okay.
Okay, so question answer interaction. We have volunteers with microphones. Those with queries can quickly raise their hands, identify yourself and the person to who your query is addressed to. Yes, sir. Can we have the cordless, the handled? सर आप पूछ सकते हैं ऐसे ही
My name is Ramesh. I am from Maritime consultancy. So what I want to know is Maharashtra had a port which is Mumbai, okay, at the time of independence. But in last 75 years, unlike eastern states, I know in Andhra Pradesh or in Orissa, they're developing multiple ports. But in Maharashtra, apart from Mumbai, and JNPT was developed by, the central government, there is no major, no big minor port which has come up. So what is the main reason for that? And we have not developed even a big shipyard also. Mesgon Docks was a Sindhia shipyard, which was a legacy, which was there. In last 75 years, again, there is no, major ship repair, shipbuilding facility. And of course, the Mumbai, the cruise part so the question is to Maharashtra Maritime Board, that why we are not able to develop that? What is the guarantee that will happen in next 20 years or 25 years?
I will interrupt you. I think either there is one very good port developed in last 15 years only, and MMB has supported like anything, and that's a Jaigarh port. Today it's having a handling capacity of 55 million tons and currently operating at 35 million tons. So plus 70% capacity utilization and having plans to go up to plus 80 million tons in next 2-3 years. And that's one important thing. That's without connectivity. No rail link goes into Jaigarh.
See, Andhra is developing 7 big ports. Orissa is developing 6 big ports. Compared to that, Maharashtra is probably over the last so many years has developed one, and there is not many others I can see. So I would like to know from the CEO of Maharashtra Maritime. Mr. Jain, why Maharashtra is not able to develop big ports in last 75 years? Maharashtra Maritime Board. We have not developed a shipyard as well.
I think there was some policy handicaps previously. 2016 policy, I would not say it was not good, but it was not that good so that we can attract a lot of investment. So I'm very hopeful that with this 23 policy, so this bottleneck which you're saying probably would no more be there. The major bottleneck which I was seeing in Maharashtra, that the wharfage rate was very high. If I compare my rate per ton compared to other states, which includes Gujarat, I'm talking of the western side, because I don't foresee much competition from the eastern side. On the western side, Gujarat rates every year were getting lower than Maharashtra. So I think that was one of the major bottleneck. Second bottleneck which Maharashtra has compared to Gujarat, if I compare with Gujarat, is geography. I have to invest more in infrastructure to have that draft. So it's a capital intensive comparatively to other states. So, but giving incentive in our maritime policy, I think we would be able to solve some of the issues. Shipyard, he has already, Mr. Natarajan has shown one place. I was keenly looking at Dharamtar. So that is the next area where we will concentrate initially. And just I said in the initial morning session also, it's a fantastic EOI, again at the cost of repetition, fantastic expression of interest which we have floated. कब तक है गुरसाल इसका? November 4th Jan. So the currency of the expression of interest is still 4th of Jan. So I would advise and request everybody to look at that expression of interest. We are opening gateways to Maharashtra. It is so potential.
Okay, so we'll take one more question from the audience. And while our bureaucratic leadership is very accessible and sporting, let's keep the questions for the panel, please.
So my question to you, Khandelwal, since you have, everybody is appreciating this new policy.
Yes, sir.
So my question to you, when you are bringing investment to Maharashtra?
Sir, as I explained in my submission, we are already working and master plan has been submitted, environment clearance is being obtained, and the investment will start flowing in very shortly, sir. We have a target to complete immediate infrastructure required for various facilities next 3 to 5 years, which will be followed for further enhancement, and then it will flow further. Thank you, sir.
I'm pleased to inform you that with this new policy, we are going to submit a proposal in next few days to you for getting all the advantages of this policy, but we are coming up with plus 1,000 crores investment in next 2 to 3 years.
All right, sorry, but we have to vacate the hall for the next session. So we are hurrying up, and I would request our session moderator, Mr. Shardul Fadnavis, partner, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for the closing remarks.
We were actually supposed to have a panel discussion, but our panelists have ensured that there are no questions that are asked to them by me. So I think that's worked out well. But on a serious note, I think it was still time well spent. We got to hear from all the eminent panelists. They've made time to be here. Someone from all the way in Europe. So it was important that we heard all of them. So thank you for that. And also, given that we are 12 minutes over, I just wanted to quickly say thanks to Honorable Minister Sanjay Bansode ji. Thank you for being here. आणि आम्हाला मराठीत तुम्ही सगळ्यांना हे केलं त्याच्याकरता थँक्यू, संबोधित केलं त्याच्याकरता थँक्यू. राजीव जलोटाजी, थँक्यू for making this happen. Parag Jain sir, it's always fun when you're chairing something. So again, thanks for your presence. And Jai Shri Bhoj ma'am, thank you for being here and addressing us, talking about tourism. I think this is a very important topic, and I'm happy that we've all gotten together. I'm hearing good things about the other sessions that are happening as well. So for everyone that's here, thank you for attending the session, and please make the most of the next 2-3 days that we have. We have a lot of horsepower coming in from all over the world. Let's make the most of it. Thank you so much, everyone.
One last thing, before we actually conclude, I would request Dr. Manik Gursal, CEO MMB, to please present mementos to all the speakers and the session moderator. Mr. K.V. Natarajan, Project Director, Karanza Terminal. Mr. K.K. Dave, Senior Vice President and Unit Head, JSW, Jaigarh Port Limited. Mr. Amay Pratap Singh, Managing Director, Yogyatan Ports. All right, please. I have no visuals from here, so one by one, all the speakers on the stage. I'll just call out all the names. Mr. Ashim Mongia, Director, West Coast Marine Yacht Services Private Limited. Mr. Neeraj Bansal, CEO, Hazira Port, Adani Ports and SEZ. Mr. Kapil Khandelwal, CEO, Dighi Port, Adani Ports and SEZ. Madam Carla Salvato, Deputy General Manager, Commercial and Marketing, Port Authority of Barcelona. And one for the session moderator, Mr. Shardul Fadnavis, Partner, PwC. So let us have a resounding of claps for this session. And with that, we conclude. Thank you for your time and participation. Over to the next Andhra, I believe. Yes? Tamil Nadu. So sorry for apologies for being late, but then the room is all yours now.